Okay. If someone will let me know if they can get into the link that I just sent to the group. We'll have to do chat inside of Discord. I tested the audio earlier today, and if I try to keep YouTube up running live to watch those comments, for some reason I get weird audio feedback. Okay, cool. I'm still waiting for, I know Rich is supposed to be in shortly. I think he was having problems getting into the group. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. In the meantime, make sure that you have Visual Studio on your computer. I have Visual Studio 2019, but all the things should be approximately the same if you have 2017 installed on yours. Trying to see if I can find him on here real fast and just. I think I can manually add people to groups too. Let's see. Is everybody good with the same class time as usual? Just as an online format? I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think I'm only missing a few people, and I think a lot of them actually already did Windows Forms, which is what we're going to do today. So we'll go into Visual Studio. I'm going to try to shrink one of these windows so I can see you guys talking at the same time. If you don't have your computer on you, I would suggest that you come back and watch this video later also if you have any questions. Is there no way to overlay Discord? Okay. Alright. We'll just do this, and then let me grab my phone real fast and I'll use my phone for Discord. Okay. If you're following along and you have any questions, or if you have any questions, period, just let me know in the Discord. We're going to create a new project, and call this Forms 1. Oh, sorry, this is a type of project. We're going to look for Windows Form Apps .NET Framework. I'll call this Forms 1 Lab. And create. Alright. Now we have a form. We can click on our form and get its properties down here. One of the, I think it's the one that says text on the top. Yep, here it is. Text. We can change our text along the top here. And then on the top left, we have our toolbar. We can open that. We can drag things from here. So we will go ahead and we will take a button. When you see the lines, those help you guide your items to stay on a grid pattern, which is useful for design. So let's create a dice roller. We'll need a button and we'll need something to say what number we rolled, like a label. We'll actually do two labels. We'll do one that's static and one that changes. So let's find our text. You rolled a. Let's get another label. I'm going to make this one blank to start off with. Or actually, let's make it say, please roll to begin to start with, and then we'll change it to a number as we get our numbers. Cool. You're going to want to make sure that you don't double click one of your elements because it will create a code snippet for it. So we'll double click this and you can see we created our code snippet. And let's see. LBL num dot text, because we're changing our text, equal to random dot next one to the upper bound is exclusive, so it will never roll the upper bound. So we'll do 1 to 7. Dot toString. So now when we start our program, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Okay, let me know if you guys can see the form that just popped up. I don't think so. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna move this down here. Alright, so you should have a form. Looks something like in the bottom right. And we can click roll and you see that we generate a random number each time. How do you find the buttons if they don't pop up? Okay, so let's go ahead and close the lab back real fast, and I'll go in here and show you. So in our design, we'll go to Toolbox, and if it's not under Common Controls, do you have Toolbox on the left-hand side? Oh, if you do, and for some reason it's not under Common Controls, there's all Windows Form controls, so you can see every possible control that you can add. These are all the ones that are loaded in that you have access to. Let's see. If you don't have Toolbox, I'll have to look that one up real fast. ES Toolbox. Nothing. Okay. So if you don't have Toolbox, you can hit View and click Toolbox, and it'll pop it up. I think that's genuinely the case about most of the windows. If you're missing them, you can find them under View. Did that help? While I wait, let's go ahead and modify our program a little bit. So let's add multiple dice. I'm going to be using notation from old school Dungeons and Dragons, but hopefully I don't lose anybody. I feel like my general crowd is nerdy enough that I shouldn't lose very many people. When I'm putting in the names here, I start them all with BTN. That way, whenever it is automatically deciding in the code, so whenever I start typing in BTN, it'll pop up all my buttons. That's something that I find extremely useful. One, 2, 6. I'm going to go ahead and finish out the dice, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And roll D8. roll a d12. Oh wait, wrong box. Can everybody see the text on my screen fine? I don't know what I would do about fixing it now, but if somebody's having issues with it, I can potentially fix it at a later time. If your button's too small for your text, it will truncate. So sometimes we gotta drag it a little bit. And there we go. D20. Let's see, it's off of the button, so we'll pull this, and there we go. So now we just need to add each of the methods. So this might no longer function correctly because we changed the name, but we can actually go in here and I believe do that. So we'll copy a bunch of this. This is no longer rolling a 6-sided dice, it's rolling a 4-sided dice. So we'll do that, and we can actually copy paste, which will make a lot of this a lot easier. And we'll just be changing the numbers. If the buttons are not in the toolbox? That's a very good question. Are you in, did you do .NET Framework when you started? Because your toolbox should automatically populate with all of the tools that you can use. I would say try restarting if that's the case. And you'll see our label num.text, we're changing the property of this object on the form with this code. Let's see where we're on. D8. Oh. Okay, D20. So we should be able to restart. Oh, all of our buttons are too small. Let's go ahead and close this and make them a little bit larger, and then we will reset it. That's strange because it should be about the same as. Alright, so I'm going to pull these to the side real fast, and we'll just make them real big. That's how we'll solve that problem. I could go back and forth and make these buttons the exact size, but that's a lot of time of just watching me go back and forth changing button sizes. I don't think that makes for very entertaining television. Alright, here we go. Cool. Alright, does anybody have any other questions so far? I'm going to try to figure out why, how to fix if your toolbox is not working. Okay, cool. So I was thinking that there might be a problem with your .NET. That would be a completely different fix that wouldn't necessarily want to do. Alright, so does anybody have any questions about doing this? Do you think that you would be able to create a form and with labels and buttons and have the buttons do things in your form and change properties? This is essentially, it's going to be slightly different, but this is essentially what the quiz over this is going to be for. It's going to be making buttons and labels and changing the labels by using button presses. So if anybody has any concerns, now would be a good time to voice them. Hopefully you guys are still all able to talk to your groups through Discord or whatever various means that you use. Let me know if there's any extra problems with that, and I'll try to remedy that as best as I can. I'm going to let you guys go now then.